On.
All right, it is September 18th, 2025, 6:34 p.m. This is meeting as a whole. Let's see, who's here tonight? We have Councilperson Martin, Mayor Southern, Councilperson Passion, Councilperson Pinter, myself, Council President Cameron, we have our village attorney, Jesse Shook, we have Chief Delp, and we have Jeff Hobart with us as fiscal officer. Okay, tonight's committees are, finance. So do we want to start or do you want to wait for, oh no, you're chair now, never mind. We're good, go ahead.
I can start. So, I passed out a couple of things. If I had access to the laptop, it would have been up on the screen tonight. So, first thing I want to point out is we did get the final property tax settlement in, and the tax collections for the last 4 years I presented. For 2025, we are $10,282 over 24. But as you can see, looking at 22 through 25, they're up and down. Okay? So 2022 would have been part of the COVID timeframe yet, with the delinquents coming in 23 that existed at the end of 22. Okay? What I want to point out is we have an issue with the delinquents starting to increase again, especially with the residential. So that's a little bit of a concern. I'm not sure where that could really go, or whether it was just some timing issues with payments made to the county and the time frame that they made the settlement. If payments were made late after the cutoff, they'll come through next year. Okay? Do we have a true delinquency problem there with people not paying property taxes? All we can do is continue to monitor and see what happens. Okay? But I'm going to watch that one. Okay? The other sheet that I passed out, legal size, this is the income tax collections for the last 3 years. And we follow a highlighted line cost. For September, we have dropped to where we're 3.95% ahead of last year. And as you can see, looking at the percent of change YTD, we started the year off at 11%. We've been fluctuating in there. We hit a high of 15, now we're down to 3.95. So that bothers me a little bit, but I'll wait and see what happens with October advance that comes in. Maybe there was just some timing issues on payments again, okay? But again, I wanted to let you know what's going on there, and at least maybe looking forward for 26 and out, at most I think I'd be looking at 3% increase. If it starts dropping, I'm going to adjust it down. That will have an effect on what we will have available for capital projects. But again, more to come as we meet at our next committee meeting next week. Okay. I got a few other issues that I would want to at least bring up. Fire contract. No, sorry. I will be asking for passage of supplemental appropriations at the next meeting. I was waiting for some information to come through from our village engineer, but the first issue, fire contract. I finally got a bill from Columbus for fire EMS services. And the bill for 2025 is $270,000. I only had appropriated $257,000. Okay? So I went back and looked at the contract to see exactly how that was working. And it's a little confusing to read, but I was off a year when I was looking at the calculations. Okay. It's poor wording on their side, okay? Unfortunately, I didn't pick up on that. So I'll be asking for an increase of $13,000 when it comes to the appropriations for our fire services. Also coming in there, we've realigned some things with the street lighting. There were some of the charges being put under lands and buildings and general government. We moved them out this year up to the street lighting, the security of persons and property. So that's, I need to ask for an increase there to cover those bills, okay? I'm waiting to hear what the additional costs are for the sidewalks going from 4 foot to 5 foot on River Lake Road. If I've missed an email, I'm sorry, I may have. I don't know what it is, but I will find out before next week when we have the request for appropriations. I got an email later today, and actually for me it was tonight because I was at continuing education today. The Waterline project from North Lake Court. Mike indicated about $15,000 for survey work, $50,000 for design. So I will be asking for at least $65,000 in the waterline maintenance fund to cover part of the engineering work that's taking place or will take place this year. I don't have a definite answer on the cost of construction, but I'll try and push him for that one yet. And we're also looking at, if we do anything with the road there, we will get rid of the bed in the center, okay? So I'm waiting to hear on that one.
So will that be additional design cost?
There will be a little bit more engineering. They will have to figure out what's underneath the bed. Is it road material or something else? And they may have to backfill with road material before they can pave over it. Okay?
Yeah, I can't imagine there's that much engineering to that.
So, waiting for answers on that one, okay? I passed out Five Seasons response to our questions that we had. I'm sorry, I passed out the contract amounts. The response to the questions is in your email. Five Seasons is still the cheaper one. However, services seem to be a question. So my recommendation to council is you give Five Seasons a 1-year contract, we repeat this process again next year for potentially doing a 3-year contract. You're talking $6,000 plus difference between Ground Masters and Five Seasons. If it was much less of a difference, Groundmaster has a record here of doing a good job with the leaf removal, but $6,000, that's up to council to decide which direction you want to go, okay?
And let me just say something about that real quick. For the past 3 years, we've had Groundsmaster Landscaping Services servicing the village without not one incident. As a matter of fact, we've had exceptional service, as I recall. Past performance is one of the best predictors of the future results. Leaf cleanup is an essential service for our residents, and entrusting it to a provider with history of repeated satisfaction regardless of cost to the community would be a major asset. While alternative may come at a lower price, the quality of service could be a dissatisfaction. I highly recommend Groundmaster Landscaping, and I think we should do it at a 3-year. Our residents deserve it, and they pay for it.
Do we know what, are we discussing this now?
Here's where I am. I don't know how far we want to go into this, but yes, somebody has to make this decision. We are less than 4 weeks away to.
Okay.
So I think we've got to get a contract in place in case
Perfect.
it takes us a while to get it.
Okay, so then the follow-up question to that is, I'm guessing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but based on what you said and what I see here, is that if we only go with Five Seasons for 1 year, we'd still pay this $29,250?
Correct.
Do we know what it would be if we went with Groundmaster for just 1 year?
Yes, I think.
It'd be $36,000 for 1 year.
36?
Yeah, and the following year of 2026 would be 37.
Okay.
Well, wait, I'm sorry.
I didn't know if this letter was saying these are our prices only if it's for a 3-year contract. If we could,
I was just gonna say, for the first year it's 36,000. If a 3-year bid for Groundmasters is 35 for 2025, 2026 is 37, and 2027 is 38.5.
so that's
But we've also had
different.
Five Seasons, huh?
It's different. That's
Yeah,
what-
there's two, yeah.
So is it 36 if we only do 1 year with ground
Yes.
masters?
Yes.
Okay, that was my question.
Just one question,
Go ahead.
Jason, if you don't mind. We talked about maybe seeing if they had a picture of their machinery, 5 seasons.
I don't think we got a picture. Did you at least get to read it that they have 6 units or something? No, I did not get a picture of their unit.
They have several units from the response that was provided, because they provide the leaf pickup service elsewhere,
Elsewhere.
in several locations.
Yeah.
We talked about this, Jason, we talked about this in legislation.
Yeah.
They had questions. We emailed them and that's the responses that we sent back out. Because council was still going, there was 3 members there and they were still going back and forth between which one and didn't make a decision.
Right.
We did not.
So,
But we can make a decision tonight again, make it clear, we can make a decision
Oh,
tonight.
yeah, we have the meeting tonight. I don't know that we can actually say, and maybe we can.
we can start readings if we have to.
We don't even have to do readings. They're both on our recurring contract list and it's under 50, or under 75,000. We don't have to do anything. This one, I try to bring as many things to you guys that I think is too close for me to call.
I mean, I'll give you my personal opinion.
Yeah, agreed.
I do agree that Groundmaster has given us the better service. I think that based off of 5 seasons landscaping service that they've done with the village, that we've had some
Yes.
questionable work from them. You know, is that $6,000? Or more than 6? I don't know. I mean, it's.
I know personally, I don't want to, if I'm making a decision for the neighborhood and the best interest of the villagers, I don't want to chance it. Why? And then what, we have a whole bunch of incidences and then we get a bunch of complaints to save what, $6,000 that they're paying for? You know?
I don't know. I think 5 Seasons probably has more equipment, but I think they've done some questionable service for us. And I hate to say that because, yeah, but. I don't know.
Kathy, Tony?
So we like Ground Master, and that's good to know. 5 Seasons, remind me, this is sounding familiar.
They did the
our
landscaping and then we've had to kind of go back and clean up some of their messes. We've had,
I feel like they were, I'm not gonna say recommended, but, suggested by Blendon, and that's who Blendon uses?
No,
Okay,
they are
I'm thinking
not.
of something else, so
Yes, you
ignore
are.
me.
We want to talk to them about next year.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, if I'm a princess, I'd go with Groundmaster. I want the best service I can get. I don't want leaves all over the place. But I understand money's always at a premium. I just don't think the cheapest priced is always the best
I agree.
decision. So I'll leave it at that and I'll go with the decision of council.
So our conversation the other night led towards, it was cost effective for 5 seasons, right? Then we went down a list of issues and complaints. One of the first things I remember joining this year was hearing that they weren't really up to snuff with the landscaping. But with that being said, we got some of our questions addressed as appropriate, right? That's what we discussed. I saw a picture of their machine on her phone. But I guess, Jeff, the only question I have for you is, because it was a question, you came back. Now, what are your thoughts at this point? Because I think we were kind of on the fence still on Wednesday, or Tuesday, forgive me. I know I was going with 5 seasons because of the cost, but then you came in, you get the picture, right? So now, I guess I'm not on the fence as much because then I had switched, right, by the end of that meeting.
So, yes, Groundmaster performed very well last year.
Right.
Okay?
the last 3 years.
Okay, and 5 seasons, as far as the landscaping work that they've been doing this year, there's been problems,
Right.
okay? I will also tell you that we weren't very clear on what all needed to be done, so there's lack of clear guidance.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean their quality of work still comes back into play.
Right.
And that wasn't up to snuff at times,
Right.
okay? So,
This is a premier neighborhood with premier taxes. These residents, again, deserve the best, period.
I have
We
to
got
admit, I
enough
feel the
going
same way.
on right now.
And being chair of
Everything else,
services, I feel that this
we
is
don't
a
need to
must.
have shoddy service, so I certainly can understand going with Groundmaster.
Yeah, and so my vote will be Groundmaster based on the changes, the discussion we had Tuesday.
But
I'm all about saving money, but I
now,
just don't.
I would go back, I would do 1 year and, and next year ask them to do a 3-year again. And be very specific, let's make sure we've given them very clear guidelines so that it's apples and apples.
And if for some reason 5 Seasons is the best responder to the RFP for landscape for next year, we'll have something to look back on. And we'll go through the process for the leaf collection late summer, okay?
And
If 5 Seasons happens to get the landscape contract and don't do a good job,
right. Does Groundmaster do landscaping as well?
that is
Actually,
what they
that's
are.
the next point, I think.
So,
Yeah.
so they could potentially bid on what?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I think the other thing we could do next year is, what if we awarded you 3 years for both?
right.
You know, can we get a better deal?
Yes,
If
you can.
you know,
That's not a great
I know
idea.
we can. That's kind of rhetorical, sorry.
Yes,
Yeah.
we will certainly ask for a 3-year deal.
Right.
So early in the year, Brad was stating that, he invests his personal equipment, his finances into servicing Minerva Park. So if we did have him for a 3-year, he would have better equipment to service the village, and it's his name, not a corporation, I think, on the line, which matters to me. I'd rather support.
I'm very happy with his work, I have
Yeah.
no issues with it.
He takes pride in his work.
I'm happy to award him the
It's just-
contract.
It's the cost difference
I know,
that one has to think about.
I know.
Well, again, over 3 years, you're not talking 6,000, you're talking
So
18.
we're acknowledging there is a difference and a difference in the quality of service too, so
Yep.
it,
My vote, I'm leaning towards Grandmaster myself.
Jesse, do you want us to just do anything, or can we just take the conversation that we had and we just move forward with whatever we want to do? How do you prefer this? We honestly wouldn't even have brought it to you, no, not really, no, we just,
Just do a motion at the council meeting.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we'll bring it up under,
New business.
new business. Just yeah, just move to appoint Groundmaster on a 1-year contract or whatever the motion is.
I have a couple more things real quick.
Yeah.
Legislation for tonight, resolution 2519 is the one authorizing the tax rates for property tax collection. It'll be first reading, second reading, we'll need to pass it so that we meet the statutory timeframe to get it to the county auditor, okay? Resolution 2521 authorizes mayor and fiscal officers to enter into a contract for Valley Road improvements. That is up for first reading and second reading and second and third readings in there, okay?
But
So-
passing it as an emergency.
I'll have to look back at this and check with Mike on timing, whether it needs to be done on the 25th or we can wait until October 9th, okay?
That's just to get bids out.
That's to get the engineering work finished and the bids out.
Okay.
Actually, the engineering work's already been authorized,
Okay.
so this deals with the bids and the contract.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's-
We got time then. So, okay. Resolution 2522 deals with approving a contract for a bathhouse. Council will need to decide what party is going to get awarded the contract. Right now, the resolution is left blank where that needs to have that inserted. If you would make a motion during the reading to insert that, we'll get it taken care of.
And
Okay?
I specifically asked Jeff not to put it in because we as council have not officially said, yes, that's who we want to move forward with. So just for the sake of that, I said, let's leave it out for now, we can always add it before we finalize it, obviously. Do you want us to talk about that now? Because then we can make a motion during the meeting if you want, or,
That's your call.
okay. Do you have other stuff?
Pardon?
Did you have anything else?
Yes, I got one more.
Go ahead.
It's probably not part of the packet. Yes, I believe it is. There's a resolution to transfer money from general fund to the storm sewer improvement fund in the amount of, it's supposed to be 85,000, but it's not in there. But it will be when it gets finished. In working with Mike and the information that came through for the Maroon Lake Road project and the bid, it just lists out all the pieces, parts that come into play with the contract. And over several weeks, Mike and I were going back and forth as to how much can be charged to storm sewer improvement, sewer, water, et cetera, okay? And then the road improvements. And it took a bit to get that all worked out. So the reason for the 85 grand extra there is to cover the amount that will come out of the storm sewer improvement fund. Okay? And that can be approved on the 25th at the second reading. Okay? Now, we can go back to pool house.
Yeah, so, anyone have any thought, is everyone okay with going with Brand Center? I think that's the name of the
Brand Center Stool, Brand Center.
I did ask Jeff kind of afterwards, just briefly, if there was anyone else that was like, maybe cheaper or just had a better, maybe had another vibe for it. There really wasn't anything. You did a good job of the summary, kind of reviewing all of them. Brand Center kind of set out.
There was one that was cheaper. I think they were in the 59,000 range.
Yeah.
But they could not meet the time schedule. The schedule they put in, they had completion of December of 26,
Yeah, I remember that.
which poses a problem with operating the pool next year.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, if they started in August, that's pretty good, on 26.
I'm sorry.
They must have said.
It was 27.
December of
It was
27.
27, Jeff.
Yeah. It's okay.
Jason's
So-
like, that sounds great to me,
I
let's
know,
go.
3 months, yes.
I thought the presentation was good. I thought, I showed it to some friends today, just kind of, just talking about it, and I thought there was 3 examples on there that, gave us opportunity to, expand on it or however we want to do it.
And their experience with municipal pools is far beyond anybody else that responds.
Yes, that's right.
I think here's my concern is, I'm worried that we are, and we haven't designed anything, right? We've just kind of talked through some of the stuff. I'm just worried that it might be a little on the small side.
Wow. So it's funny, not designing yet, right? The one comment that my friends made was the concession stand was too big. So it was funny because I was like, yeah, I mean, but if you really think about it, last year we had right over $10,000 in sales, right? This past summer.
Oh, that analysis will be forthcoming for this year.
Yeah, sure, okay, fair enough. But still, I mean, it's all a matter of perspective, right?
Yes.
You have a whole separate, and again, we can discuss this another time. But to your point, it's like, what do we really need? What do we really want? I think is what you're probably saying.
Yeah, maybe we don't put in a concession stand to begin with. Maybe we just make that place a little bigger.
I think the other thing that would be helpful is to know the square footage of what's currently there.
Yeah.
Remember they said about 1,000 square feet. Oh, you're talking about 1,000 total.
Yes.
1,000 total.
Yeah.
Remember, because we asked that.
Yeah.
And the one they presented was 2,000 square feet.
I think it was the last one.
It was
No.
1,500.
No, it was 2,000.
It was 15,
It was
I thought.
2,000, because they wanted to propose to us 1,500. And so I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I think that 1,500 makes more sense, 1,500 makes sense? But I think, because I've looked at this a couple times, guys. But anyway, just some thoughts. I thought I just thought they did a good job in general. And I think we can build off of whatever, they want. I did find it odd that the one that I would probably want more, it's not the best looking, right? Is $310 a square foot.
And that was an old price.
It was, but, you know, honestly, even if you look at the Indianapolis one, it was only up to 4, you know, and he explained some different things there, so I'm curious to see what that price will end up with, but.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like for what we're paying, they had our design interest and village, you know what I mean, like what we could, I mean, some of the best idea I've seen so far,
I think what I, maybe I'm looking at this wrong, but what I see is us basically just replacing what we have with something new. I just wonder if that holds us back with memberships and just having a good community pool.
if you recall, she was looking at attendance at the pool because the number of people and how many are in the pool is also going to drive the size of the facilities that are necessary.
Well, and that's a good point, because she was looking at what we currently have. You know, if we increase the surface area of the pool, or the area around it, whatever we call that.
the deck.
The deck, thank you. Sorry, it's been a long day. That could have, we might have to increase what we have in there.
What is the size of that building, Tony?
So the concept layout is 2,000 square feet right here, that concept layout.
But
Their budget was 1,500 square feet, so what's interesting about it, and Tiffany, what's that?
I was gonna say, I think that's because it's a 1,500 building, but that walkway was just open.
Well, just in general, this layout's 2,000 square feet.
Oh,
They're saying the construction budget is 1,500 square feet, right? And that probably is about right. Tiffany, the one thing we did talk about is that breezeway. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I love the look of a breezeway, I really do. But if you really think about it, it's kind of a waste of space, especially if you could just have an overhang on the one side for an entrance or exit. So I think there's just wiggle room in regards to how we look at it. That concession stand's huge. As a matter of fact, the concession stand and the storage is about the size of the bathrooms on this layout.
So the other thing that can happen with that drawing, mirror image.
Right. Yeah.
That way,
Right.
you've got the office area and the other piece next to where you may expand down the road.
Here's what I think it's, where we're taking a step back, is that they're gonna come in and they're designing one piece without considering anything else that's going there. I know we've asked them to, and I've sent them the blueprints from MKSK, but, you know, we might design this and then down the road, it's like, we didn't design this right.
I thought
Yeah.
she was looking at potential size, the number of people coming in there as part of what will drive the design. So that might be a point of clarification with them too.
Right.
Make sure we're getting the right spot.
I mean, that pool was built when we didn't have the MI section, right? So we've increased by 250 homes for that.
In Northland.
And Northland closing didn't help at all. I think we've definitely heard concerns, and we can see it even in our attendance, that the child population is not quite there right now. And we know why. It's because we're not offering the slides and the things that they want, right? So if that's not what we're gonna build going forward, then what we have is probably fine and this is okay. But if we wanna build it for the community and include those pieces, then I have no problem using this company.
We're gonna that'll have to be looked at in phases too.
I know.
Because, one, see, do we really get the attendance you're hoping for?
Right.
And two,
Yeah,
will we be able to get,
yeah.
can we supply funding and can we get grants to help us out?
So back to the concession stand, right? Yes, I would say that that's a very large space, I've noticed that as well. However, one of the limitations we have right now is that because we don't have that 3 sink, we cannot do hot food.
Correct.
We cannot prepare hot food. Now, I don't know if they're considering a concession stand with the needed fire safety equipment
But I
in this price.
assume that, maybe this is a really bad assumption, but I assume once we get into contract with them, we're gonna have another sit-down
Oh,
of needs, wants,
I'm sure. we
this
will.
versus
Yeah.
that versus, so, and that's where we're gonna have to say, listen, if we want to go with, do we want to go with the real concession stand with the thought that we would expand later into, or do we not?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
because yes, you are correct, that was a nightmare just trying to get us to a level where we're at.
Right.
And that's a no level, and it was
Yeah,
difficult to
we're level
do.
2 out of 4 levels of food safety. Level 3 is when we can start serving
Right.
hot food, but we have to have 3 sinks for it. That's the minimum, right?
But- yeah,
And then, you know, what are we cooking it with, and what does that look like? What does that equipment look like, you know?
Right.
Even if it's simple things like popcorn, or a pretzel warmer, or pizza.
Hot dog, yeah.
You know,
Okay.
something like that,
Yeah.
right? Those, and they take up space. To be honest with you, it takes up space.
Oh, yeah.
The amount, I know it can be tight in that little space at times, which makes it hot when you're working
Yeah.
in there.
I'm sure.
But,
the space is currently
but,
definitely
you know,
not adequate.
Again, I say, I want us to be careful of looking at this as our final design, because it's not it, right?
Right.
We really have to have those
Yeah,
conversations.
just,
Well, our storage was here, so we couldn't even store the snacks that we had in that building, and I don't, you know, I know not everybody sees that, but our wellness room was our storage for pop and chips and things like that, because we didn't have, there's so many rules and restrictions as far as putting, you can't even stack,
Stuff on the floor.
Pop on the floor.
6 inches off the floor.
yeah,
the one thing that was suggested to me, and like I said, we'll talk about it when we get to that, right?
Yeah.
Is that if it's $1,500, it's $400 a square foot, how much are we making profit for the concession stand? Because at least that gives you a number.
Yeah.
Like, you see what I'm saying? So if you're making, if it's $400 a square foot, and we have 500 square feet, right? And then what you do is you say, well, how much profit did you make last year? Just kind of, you can put it out to 5 years, who cares?
Yeah.
But then you could at least say, okay, this makes sense from a money perspective. So anyway, just a thought.
Yeah, just.
I just, I was looking at that design. So our building's 1,000 square feet right now,
Yeah,
and that's 2,000. One thing to consider, and I know, like you said, this is not the final, but it would need to be more elongated, because that would shoot out into the, our deck area, if you think about it, or out in the pool parking lot.
She mentioned the width of an increase in.
Yeah.
It would, however, remember, that deck and everything is going away with the new pool, so we can't limit it because of that.
Sorry.
but you are right.
I know, I'm with
It's
you.
affecting the
But
design.
let's go back to really the question on the table is, are we okay with going with Brain Center as the architect firm? Okay.
But I just want to say, I don't want to spend $90,000 and be like, never mind, you know?
No, I don't know that we would do that. but-
Okay. Like if we're committed, I'd say
Yeah.
we're committed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think results from the survey may help too, to
Yeah.
really find out what how the residents view the pool and what they want done with it. I know, I don't want a Highlands. I have no interest in
No,
Disneyland.
No,
I don't want anything like that,
no,
so,
I don't think that's the wish here.
okay.
But I think we want elevated from what we have.
Improvements.
Yes.
Check.
Honestly, the old people love it
Oh, I
because
know.
I grew up going to Swimland at Berwick Beach and it's like walking back in time. That is not what we want, I understand, but it is adorable, it really is.
Adorable and
Jeff.
rustic.
I know.
Sorry.
I know.
Sorry.
Have you had a chance,
It's
did
so
you
bad.
get the new stuff from the grant?
It's so bad.
Did she copy you on the stuff for the grant that I just got yesterday-ish?
I saw something, yes.
Okay, I was just making sure you have it.
I haven't had a chance to really look at it.
Okay.
Did you listen?
I haven't done anything with it, and I'm not here next week.
I'll have to look at it
Dude,
tomorrow.
I told my friends.
Or item to bring to your attention. I have nothing to go with on it.
Okay.
We're still waiting for an estimate from the engineer regarding the cost of engineering pathways.
Okay.
Okay?
And a follow-up.
That is his initial estimate that he threw out was 100,000. It's probably gonna be more than that, but again, we're waiting to see something come back from him on that one.
So.
That will result in a supplemental appropriation also, and it will be from the general fund.
Well, I thought that during that meeting that we discussed also asking other engineering firms to bid on the sidewalks.
Correct, I spoke to them, I sent them an email right after that meeting, September 5th. Reached out to them 2 other times, and anyways, finally got in contact with them. They called me, sent me an email and called me yesterday. I talked to them yesterday, and they are getting me with their person. I've not heard from that person, but she has all of the information, she knows everything that we're trying to do, from getting from here to here to here. The extra little piece there, I talked to her for like 47 minutes. So she knows the plan, she knows what we're trying to do. It is the place that I told you that I talked to before, just waiting.
So I think we're looking at 3 different proposals. One is from, what's Mike's firm's name?
Jacobs.
CH Twin Hill.
That's not gonna help me. One is from Jacobs for the entire project, the entire scope that we talked about, which is all of Minerva Lake Road, and then the Jordan Road, and all those pieces, those trails that we talked about. Then Jacobs just doing the lake portion of the pathway, the bridge, the whatever, to connect to Jordan Road from Minerva Lake Road. Because we feel like they've done a lot of engineering, they probably have a lot of that already done.
Okay.
And then the third one is from this other company, or another company, that is doing the rest of Minerva Lake Road and Jordan Road, and any of those tributary type patches that we wanted to add, Valley Road or whatever. So, if, there's
Sidewalks are automatically part of Valley Road improvement, okay?
Okay. I think we talked about an additional spin-off, near Valley, so.
I have to go back and check.
I'll let you talk internally on that one.
But
I'm not gonna bring up that can of worms.
I bring that one back up because we have nothing concrete yet, but it's forthcoming.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, okay.
They're fully aware. I mean, yes, I talked to them.
Okay, you good?
I'm done.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Are you done?
Finance-wise, looked at your August report, you sent it last week, everything's in line. I was just kind of looking at the pool stuff, because it always interests me, kind of see where we're at with that. We have so nothing really to report there, everything seems to be in line with where we should be at the end of August, right? So really appreciate all the hard work on that stuff.
I will have information for next meeting.
Yes, and I was gonna say, so our committee meeting is Tuesday, the 23rd,
I won't have it for that one, but
It's
I'll
fine.
get something out next week.
and at 8:30, it's for an hour. Jeff did it a couple weeks ago, it worked out really well, just kind of going over, helping to inform us on just everything, right? He already mentioned kind of some agenda items he wants to talk about, and then we want to schedule, it's still tentative, but we want to schedule a finance committee meeting here on a weeknight. I know he's out of country in at least 1 week in October. The purpose of that meeting would be to open it up to the community. We're going to talk about the budget and what in that approval process and what's going to happen in November technically, and then from there. And the purpose for that is just to educate everyone to kind of, hey, here's what's going on, and I will try to promote it a little bit out there just so that
I'll have an outline for you for Tuesday.
Yep, cool. Yep, and that's all we had. I'll mention that in our. Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Safety? Not Stacy, safety.
Safety? Hey Chief, how are things going? I read your report, things look really good, but seriously, the start of school, no problems?
Define problems, no.
So there's a learning curve at the beginning of every school year because you have new parents coming in, so. We tried some different approaches this year. I think the traffic pickup at Minerva France is going great. They've run their cars around the loop and held them there so they're not backed up on Green Line and Minerva Lake Road. So I think that's improved conditions immensely. The middle school continues to be just an issue. It's 15 to 20 minutes every afternoon of controlled chaos. Oftentimes, there's no backups, but occasionally I've seen backups on 161, waiting to pull into, and this is for Hawthorne pickup.
Yeah.
And we've put out messages to the parents asking them to come down the service road, but they're just those families that just won't do it. They're gonna stay on 161 and cut in through, and you've got people that try to drive around the outside because they don't want to go to the school, they want to go the wrong way on the road. So we have that, but other than those things, not much. So, Monroe Lake Road construction is just going to be an issue, I think, until that project's finished. We try to be down there as often as we can, but we got, 2,000 residents, we're gonna have to try to, meet the needs of everyone else too, so we can't sit down there 24/7.
Can we just put up a tall one-way sign?
I've asked for more signage from Strasser, and they brought in a bunch of, no left turn, or no right turns, and, and stuff, but, we're continuing to see the, residents at the, apartment complex go right and head out to Westville Road, because they figure they can dart that 200 feet and get out into Westville Road. Unfortunately, we don't have anywhere to sit and monitor that, because that road is so narrow right now, even with the additional damage that where they've chewed everything up. It's hard to enforce. Plus they come out, they look both ways, they don't see us, then that's when they go. So if they see us, they're like, and they can make a left turn. There's going to be a meeting tomorrow with Strasser to discuss how this closure is going to go, and it's going to be a discussion. So it's what they're proposing is, I don't know if it's feasible. We're a little concerned about the elderly residents.
I did email it to him just now.
Okay, so, the only other thing is, like, we had our speed signs moved. The one that was on Monroe Lake Road, we moved that one over to Quackbrook Vale. I was a little concerned. It's on a curve. It does what it does. We've had complaints about speeders through that area. So I don't know if you've been over there, but if you're coming up and the pond is on your right, it's just past that pond. We were going to put it down closer to Howler or Wolfbridge. I'm sorry, yes. But we felt that would detract from the view of the pond, so we stuck it up the top. What else? And of course, we turned the sign on Myrtle Lake Road, now faces the incoming traffic. We had it on the outgoing traffic for a while, now it's facing incoming traffic. I haven't had a chance to speak to any residents to see how that effect is going. But I will tell you that setting down there where I normally set to run traffic seems to have an effect, because I'm not seeing the speed sign. You usually get them up in the 30, 28 to 30 range, and they seem to be slowed down. So I think that's having an effect.
Have you pulled the data lately
On those signs, no, he doesn't. He doesn't send it to me, and I know that it's just a crap ton of numbers.
And
So,
We have someone that likes to look at numbers, maybe he can help you put it in
yeah,
a nice pie
I'll
chart.
send it to put it into.
chart.
He's like, he has nothing else to do. He tells me,
Right.
yeah, calls me and loves what we do.
Want to crunch some numbers?
You're
over budget.
And then lastly, tonight you'll probably hear from the mayor about Josh Hayes' 6-month probation is coming up, so we'd like to move forward with him. So other than that, nothing from the city.
The days are getting shorter. are we back to reminding people to wear reflective clothing? I mean, we never really stopped, but do we need to pick that up again? And yeah, and Halloween's coming and all that sort of thing. So anything else besides wear reflective clothing, be careful of the cars?
And then we do have the garage sales.
Oh, no kidding. Everyone has clothing in their driveway.
And that's, I guess this year, normally it was like just Saturday, but now we're going Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which we're like, yay. So, but Friday's just a couple hours, 5 to 7. That shouldn't be too big of an impact. Saturday, don't leave your house. Or leave early and don't come back till after. It is a constant, we're bringing in an extra officer, just to address the traffic, because it is just the entire time that's going on, the officers are out there running plates, calling for them to move their car, they park on the wrong side, they just pull up parking yards, it's out there. So, we did bring in an extra officer just for that. So they can drive around so that we still have people available to answer calls.
And you've had signs in the past that you put out that say no parking this side.
Yeah, we do those kind of judiciously so that we have, we just got the map. So now we know where the actual locations are. Typically, it's the curves that we have issues with. Straightaways don't seem to be as big a problem, but we'll basically look at if we have a string of 3 or more sales in a close proximity to each other, then we augment the existing signs with our parking signs, so it helps, because that'll be where you get larger crowds. And then of course the curves on Kerwood, the curves on River Lake Road and Lakewood are typically our most difficult areas to try to control. It doesn't seem to be any issues in, see now I'm saying it, in the MI subdivision, so we'll see how it goes again this year, and there's a couple more on Farview, I think, that I saw, and but I don't know if it's because it's better signage or just more obvious, I'm not sure what goes on back there, but we typically don't have as many issues there as we do in the old village.
Speaking of signs, I meant to bring this up the other day at work session, but I'm wondering, should we start to try to change some signs over, like no parking, to more of a picture sign than the words, especially because of non-English speaking people that might be in the neighborhood?
I think you have to have certain language for statute so that you can cite them properly. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a picture sign in addition to that. You can't really replace that.
I just was running through a Grove City neighborhood and I noticed that all their no parking signs were like the P with the no parking,
Right,
as opposed to
no
saying,
parking.
I mean, it may have said no parking on them as well,
Yep.
but it was more picture based than.
Right. That symbol's universal. We can use that applicably.
So I just thought as we're starting to replace stuff, it might be better, as we're starting to see people in the neighborhood that English is not their first language.
I know it's been brought up before, maybe not here, but I've seen no parking signs on this side of the road for the garage sale. Is that something that the police put out, or is that something NPCA puts out? Do you know?
That's just what we were discussing.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Those additional signs that we put out where we have the congregation of more than like 3 or 4.
Well, welcome to the meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's what we were talking about. We put those signs out along with the existing signs.
And usually they try to get those out some point in time tomorrow afternoon, is what
Or probably,
or
yeah,
just like,
tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning before the day started. We were waiting for the map just came in today, so now we have an idea of what we're looking at. So we'll just basically look at that map and go, all right, we're gonna put a couple extra signs here, a couple extra signs here, and that helps to avoid that. At least we can go out there and point to, there's a sign right by your bumper, right? Did you not see that? And then we just pretty much get on the PA, we call out their name, someone come move their car. So it's gets a little chaotic. The first year I was here in 2015, another officer and I were down on Minerva Lake Road. We had to like run a traffic thing where we'd stop cars, let the other cars come through, and then stop the cars on the other end and send the cars westbound, because they had 6 sales right there at the curbs by back and side.
They would park out here and people would just walk.
And it was, oh, did we ever find out if there were going to be, I didn't check the map for this, and I didn't see.
Here or there.
Yeah,
They have individually talked to those people, and I don't know if they decided to have, Barb?
There's one person in the construction zone who's participating, and the map instructs people to park in the back of Minerva Springs and just walk to her backyard. And
Okay.
it's indicated that way on the map.
That's your answer.
okay. Yeah, that was the only other concern we had, is there was a couple of people with construction stuff, and the mayor was going to offer the use of the park or the pool to, they could just bring their stuff there and
Not convenient, but, I mean, so that's a great idea too. Glad I thought of that.
One other kind of thing for I'm gonna throw it into safety. We probably haven't discussed this with safety in the past, but we are talking about Halloween, what night we're doing Halloween on this year. Should we maybe pass something that just says we're always gonna follow Morphe's recommendation, that we don't have to do this every year?
Yeah, we talked about it in legislation, and I think briefly it was like, maybe that's a good idea, but then what happens when you decide to veer off of that? Now you have to pass a whole new ordinance or a resolution to backtrack that. But we could
put
just,
something in there that says it will be this unless council decides otherwise, votes otherwise at a meeting.
or we could just do it not as that and just always do it. I guess it almost comes back to like, oh, that's why we just do it this way every year. We just go, hey, we're just gonna follow Morphe.
I mean, have we never not followed Morphe?
Yes.
Okay.
Years ago, not recently, no. I mean, it's happened before. It's happened that one time we did a rain date, that was a train, don't do it. Every neighborhood in the entire world came here.
we had people from Cincinnati show
That's
up.
what-
It was-
Seriously.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, let's just say, hey,
Yeah,
we
it was
always
bad.
follow
I'm
Morphe,
jacked
there's no
up.
rain date.
I'm in a mood, I've been up since 4.
Because what?
But he's not wrong.
We start to get people asking like middle of August when
Right.
we're doing trick or treating, and if we can just say, hey, look on Morphe's site, like.
Yeah.
Would we need to do an actual resolution, or could we just, acknowledge tonight when we do it and just say, from here on out, we want to acknowledge that we will always follow Morphe in the event that we don't?
I mean, you don't need to do anything. The only thing I would think is that who's gonna hear that? If you do say it,
I mean, if we said it, then when
Perpetuity.
people start asking on
You can
Facebook,
just
we
say
could just say it.
Yeah.
Or Barb could in September say,
Sure,
hey,
that's fair.
I mean, that, and without me having to say, hey, we forgot to do this on Thursday, now we have to wait till next Thursday before we post something new.
Yeah.
So maybe we do it that way, just so Barb can start posting the day she thinks of it.
yeah, should be, you just do it by motion.
Why is it Morpsey and not Westerville schools?
So Westerville schools follows Morpsey, typically.
Westerville
So-
City.
Yeah, so I'm not aware of anybody really that doesn't follow Morpsey. The biggest thing is when Halloween falls on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, they typically do it on a different day. Or maybe it's Friday or Saturday or whatever. So that's really the only difference. If Halloween falls on a Tuesday, it's Tuesday. And again, some people then decide to do rain days and all that, and we just determine, and you will start getting it, I'm promising you, if it comes to August 20, or, October 29th, and people are looking at the forecast, it's gonna be rainy and cold, they're like, when's the rain date? Nope, not happening.
Maybe when we bring that up tonight,
Mhm.
we can do that.
Yeah.
And just say, hey, going forward.
You're legislative?
Sure.
Yep.
It's not really legislation.
Yeah, it's just-
Just the- yeah.
Just do a motion there to.
That says we're gonna
set
follow
the rules
Morpsey,
of Morpsey's.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then like you said, if there's ever a day we don't, then.
Okay.
Before you guys move past safety, I just wanna say, you were talking about the Minerva Lake Road sign where you switched it around down there. we did already have a resident call to compliment on the fact that we are really focusing on down there. And I always tell everybody when somebody calls and they're upset and complains, but we did have a resident, it was sent to you, it was probably about 2 or 3, whatever, right after you moved it, they called. I'm not gonna say who it is right now, but somebody did call. They wanted to thank us for, keeping them in our thoughts. And then the other thing was, you mentioned a little bit ago about, we're coming in on 7:30 and I know we're not done yet, but October meeting dates, the deadline for the newsletter is tomorrow. So I know you were talking about an October finance date and everything. I don't know if you guys can come up with something in the next evening. You don't have to do it right this second, but the deadline is tomorrow for the October meetings. You can always add it, it's just not going to be in the newsletter. So I just wanted to point that out, and I wasn't gonna do that until mayor's report, but I'm reporting it now because we just talked about it and you guys are gonna miss the deadline. And that's all I have, and now you guys can resume safety.
I think, do you have anything else for safety? Yeah, I think on to legislation.
On to legislation.
I wasn't even prepared for this.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
We will have a meeting October 2nd.
Yeah.
And yours is already, I think she already has that, okay.
Yeah, legislation this evening is the third reading of the shortcutting ordinance, 2025-16. I don't think there's been a lot of questions about that. Resolution 2025-19. This is accepting amounts and rates determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor and declaring emergency. Jeff, we just talked about it?
Yeah.
Sounds good. I wasn't here for that, but thank you. And then Valley Road Improvement Project. I know we spoke about this in legislation in our committee meeting. And this is basically to get authorizing the mayor and the fiscal officer to advertise for bids and enter into contract for Valley Roads Improvement, which is, I believe, the lowest rated road in our village. And this is timely needed to be able to get done before the opening of the pool next year. Then we have the pool bathhouse, which is 25-22, which will be for authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer to enter a contract for design, bid, documents, and construction oversight for the pool bathhouse and declaring an emergency. And this first reading with the intent to waive the third reading passes emergency. And we had the bathhouse meeting on Tuesday.
And when we get to this during the actual council meeting, Mr. Grant, we're going to add.
Can you give us the name so we can write it down so we're prepared for that? The company name.
Brandstetter.
Brandstetter
Carol.
to the legislation.
Because it's not in the legislation.
Okay.
I just wanted you prepared.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
On, something just came to mind with the conversation with Jesse. On resolution 2521, there will be another section added that the mayors will report back to council the amount of the contract for construction.
Okay.
Okay? The other stuff that goes with this is council still has one more say on this project in that you'll have to authorize the appropriations.
Because this
For
is
construction.
specifically for the development of those plans.
No, this is for allowing the bids to go out and the contract to be entered into.
Okay, but that's not approving the plans and approving the bids that come in?
No.
Okay.
No.
And that's what you're talking about would be the next step?
No, engineering's already done, or.
Engineering is in process.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a separate contract that's already entered into.
But this authorizes the advertising for bids and entering into a contract. But again, mayor will report back to council what the contracts are, or will be, and you'll still have the final say because you got to pass the appropriations.
Okay.
Okay? So you're not, council is not totally out of the loop on this.
We can still get out of it.
Yes.
If we don't enter into a contract with someone, yes.
I mean, it's just the option, it's just explaining what it is.
Clarification.
Okay. Did you read the last one?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
2025-23 is the authorizing the transfer of funds for the storm sewer improvement project. Did you guys talk about that as
Yes.
well? Perfect.
And it's for the Minerva Lake Road project. It's just moving the funds, essentially.
Perfect. Excellent, thank you for backing me up.
We're golden. Okay. Is that all we have for legislation? Oh, yeah, we're gonna take a break for a second. Is there any, I know we're at 7:30, however, this is everybody's chance if there's something that they wanna talk about before we go into the meeting. Because I have very little, just, can I?
To talk about now?
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry guys. A rep from Westerville Schools reached out and would like to speak to council in regards to the levy. I know we already had Mr. Hoffman in here. Are you guys satisfied with only I didn't wanna make the decision because I feel like
They reached out to you to,
they reached out to Bart, essentially, it was not.
do they know that the Hoffman guy gets that?
Yes, and when in correspondence with them, they explained that he was a representative of the Citizens Committee in support of the levy. This would be someone from the district itself.
Do we feel as council they'll provide answers to some of our questions we had?
Or different, yeah, I don't, that's why I brought it, it's, here's where we are at this point. Next week, we have two planning and zoning hearing things in regards to that, so I don't know where they would fit into the agenda. I'm not saying we don't have time for that, because if it's important to you guys, it's important to me. And then October, we would have some dates that we could additionally bring someone in, and that's it.
I hate to, well, although it is my job to speak for the residents in some capacity.
Right.
For this, I don't feel comfortable. I would say let's have them show up and say what they want to say. And those who are interested can watch. And
Do you have a preference to which meeting? The last meeting in October is typically the one that I would invite them to, but if you guys prefer something else, just let me know. Are you okay if we give them again, even though we have the two hearings, do you guys want me to offer them both September and October? Or just the October date, and if they can make it, I don't want to sound like I don't want them here, what do you guys want?
Is it just a 10-minute meetings again?
It took about a half hour longer because people had questions and all of that, so
I would not recommend.
Are they gonna do a presentation?
I would assume so.
yeah, if they want to do a short presentation, that's fine, but we're not doing like question and answer. Like I don't think.
Do you guys, I hate to limit people to something, but do I say a short presentation for about approximately 15 minutes if you wanted to provide something like that?
You could potentially offer them either some before or after time of council, because you don't necessarily have to be on the dais for public.
Right.
Then you can close your public meeting, the public can stay and watch it. You can usually record it or send it. I don't think there's a
Are they looking to address council for
Yeah,
stuff,
I think
or
they
do
want to come to the
just-
council meeting and be, in my opinion, we don't usually have anyone, or we have one or two.
Yeah.
So I would think that they would want the people sitting at home to be able to see them,
Do we
in
know-
my opinion.
Do we know, is it Nicole Marshall, is she gonna be the one?
They have not
They didn't
specified
state,
yet, it
okay.
depends on the date, what dates we give them, and who's available on those dates.
Okay.
We can say it would be great if Nicole could come.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause she's the treasurer, which would be, she knows stuff.
Thinking outside the box, do they have some kind of pre-prepared video they could send?
Don't know.
That we can just link out to the website, because, the other side of it is, we already heard it. I know it was biased potentially.
When we heard a political action committee.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
This is the actual people that would
Yeah.
get the money, pleading their
This
case.
is a major reporter.
Yeah,
Very-
yeah. I think we owe, I think we owe it to our residents.
Okay, do you guys want to offer them September 25th and October
Well,
23rd, or?
I wouldn't push it too far because the election's in November, right? I think people need to hear and make up their mind before that, so I'd say earlier better. I would limit them to their time, and this is not a question and answer event. This is just them presenting to us.
Do you want me to put 15, 20 minutes? Do you want me to put, or leave it?
I would probably say 10,
I'll do 10 to 15.
yeah. And then, again, this is just to present to us. It's not, we're not opening it up to questions or anything like that, so.
So just.
Are you hearing that?
We're,
She's gonna be the one to put the email together and respond.
we're not asking questions.
I mean, if you want to ask a question or two,
I mean, I just wanna make sure that it's clear before we get to that
I
point.
don't think it
Is this a situation where you propose a separate night for them alone?
You could.
could.
You could do, like I said, you can do it outside of a council meeting, but I think they want to talk
But
about
I
council.
think, yeah, I think what she is saying is, or what they have requested is to specifically speak to council.
Correct.
They're not here
So
to,
you give them 10 minutes.
yeah.
And if they're only gonna have 10 minutes, they could do it on the 9th.
Yes, I would say the 9th, and if they want the 23rd, I mean, those would be the two that I would offer, because I don't know how long those hearings are gonna take, and I would hate for them to sit here for 2 hours.
Right.
And I would also hate for them to go first, and then this does, you know, you guys start asking a bunch of questions, even though we're saying we're not going to, we've met us.
Who knows, we may hear something that.
It's great, different, yeah. So yes, offer them the 19th and the 23rd of October, and then we'll put it on the agenda if they're coming, and if they're not, then it won't be on there.
That works.
So, and if somebody else calls, we will offer it to them, or anything else like that. And then the last thing is chatbot. We talked about it very briefly. It has to do with our little thing on our website. She called, she got information, she sent it to you guys in late August. I don't know if you guys want to throw it on your agenda to talk about Saturday. I don't know if you want to talk about it in our next meeting. I don't know that anybody has any thoughts to move forward with chatbot, or if you want Barb to explain it maybe in, again, one of the work sessions or something. I'm just bringing it full circle.
Basically an AI question, like we feed it stuff.
Correct.
And then it learns from there, right?
And yes, and it will say during these hours, when we're not, not in the office, you can email, click this link, you can fill out this form,
Right.
and then we can direct it what websites we'd like it to use for reference. And we can go in and get reports from it, like what are the most commonly asked questions, so that then we can actually link those to our website to increase
Right.
transparency,
And
etc.
what was the price tag on that?
It's right around 5,000 a year.
Annually? And that's through Civic?
Civic Plus,
Civic
yeah.
Plus, okay.
So again, it's just to bring it back full circle, because things get lost in the email. I mean, I will say, and that's why I have a hard time communicating just that way. It's just, it's a lot.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay.
Break for, or you guys can move to adjourn, anybody can have any questions, and we're good.
Nothing else.
All right, then let's adjourn for just a few minutes and come back and forth.
Yep.